So when I logged on to YouTube this morning, I was just blown away because I expected to see thousands of videos about the LaRosier case. Whether you like me or not, you need to watch this video. This is so much bigger than me. And you know what? If you don't like me and you don't want to share this video and spread the information around, that's fine. Have your favorite creator do it. That's actually a better idea because it needs to be on multiple people's channels. It's the only way we're going to get the word out. Now, if you do like me and you'd like to help support the channel directly because I'm permanently demonetized from YouTube, the best way to do it is shopping at OnlyTacticalFans at Shopify.com. There you can purchase MREs, other survival gear, branded merchandise, all that awesome stuff. And again, that's how I pay my bills, because YouTube permanently demonetized, because what happened to Matt already happened to me, and that's their playbook. That's how they roll. So, what's going on and how does this affect everything? So, California is suing a Florida man, specifically my lawyer, Matt LaRosier, for having a website with gun files on there, right? So, how does that all break down? How's that going to affect them? Is this just a frivolous case? What's going to happen? The first thing this case does is it pushes risk upstream. So instead of you being at risk for having a sketchy file, like, I don't know, a drop-in auto-sear or something like that, now they're going to go to the file hosting site and they're going to be like, hey, you had this sketchy file on this person's account on your site, you're at risk. So what does that mean? Do you think Google is going to put their neck out on the line for you, or GoDaddy.com, or anyone like that? Absolutely not. If there's any risk whatsoever of them getting involved in some sort of lawsuit or a criminal action or something like that, no, they're just going to sanitize their page. They're going to remove anything that's sketchy. Instead of being like, the question popping up, is this legal? The question's going to pop up, is this risky? And that's how they're going to determine stuff. Next thing, like I already said, it's putting pressure on the file hosting sites. It's not putting pressure on the end user or the person uploading the file. It's actually putting pressure on the site itself. Again, none of these sites are going to put their neck out on the line for you. If this case goes sideways, even if it doesn't go sideways, just having this case on the books, we're probably going to see a lot of people not wanting to host open source information. Next, it translates how-to or tutorial content into liability. That's a big deal. So if your content, your instructional content, your how-to content becomes facilitation, now we're going to have like people going after, so all right, so I want to cut off my catalytic converter. Here's a video how to do it. That's facilitating somebody removing their catalytic converter, breaking the law. Therefore, that content itself is illegal. This case is a huge First Amendment case. Monetizing. What they're also doing is going after monetization. They specifically name that. Donations, merch, affiliate links. So now instead of being like, right now I am funding this channel through my merchandise, affiliate links, stuff like that. What they're going to do is they're going to go after those people and they're going to be like, I don't want to monetize CRS and I don't want them to use our affiliate program because he had this sketchy case with the government. That's what it's going to look like. So not only are you getting deplatformed from YouTube now, not being able to get monetized there, they also want to go after your other forms of revenue. Again, affiliate links, monetization, like any sort of, again, merchandise. So right now they strictly concentrate on YouTube. Oh, that's a sketchy video. We're going to go after his YouTube channel, shut his YouTube channel down. They want to expand on that. Okay, this is a sketchy video. Not only do we want the YouTube video shut down, we want these monetization loops, like donations and stuff like that, to also be responsible. So we're going to go after them as well. So if you get demonetized on YouTube, well, now you're also demonetized from Patreon. You can't run an Amazon affiliate link. You can't run a merch store. You can't run any sort of money-generating, I don't know the words here, money-generating activities. There we go. That's a good word for it. So that's also in this. So we're going to see that ripple down. Again, this affects me specifically because I'm demonetized on YouTube. I make my money off merchandise, affiliate links, stuff like that, and that may be coming to an end. They're also going after open source. Open source is no longer safe. We're going to be looking at takedowns, lawsuits, payment processors, all of that. They're specific, like this case is based around open source material. I get it. You can't stop the signal. But if nobody's going to turn the signal on in the first place, well, they effectively stop the signal. And that's why I can't believe that I didn't log on to YouTube and see 100 videos covering this, because that's exactly what they're trying to do. If this case is successful, it's over with. We're also going to be looking at geoblocking. That's another thing they asked for in this particular lawsuit, is that we don't want this information coming into California. So you're going to go to like an open source website, and yes, obviously you can get around this with VPNs, but they're going to try to find some way to force the hosting site to detect the VPN and not allow you on there if you have a VPN. And they're going to want, like, this particular file not allowed in XYZ. So instead of a global network of everybody working together and sharing information, now it's going to be like California's open source networking, and then you got the rest of the United States and New York and Washington and stuff like that. That's what they're trying to do there. Collateral damage. So if they're successful with this, if they can prove that code plus instructions can violate law, well, now you're looking at drone mods becoming an issue, CNC files becoming an issue, high-powered electronics, automotive mods. All it is code plus instructions. So if you got your tuner, all right, so here's a performance tune, here's how to do the tune. Oh, you just violated the law. It's the same thing as you doing the tune on the person yourself. All that's gone then. All those tuners are gone, all the CNC code's gone, electronic modifications. This will have a whole lot of collateral damage. We're going to see it ripple through all the do-it-yourself DIY communities. Now, understand this doesn't kill 3D printing. What this does is sanitize 3D printing and move it into more of a professional realm. So to go on a particular site, you might have to have a license. Like, hey, I'm a licensed 3D printer, so I can access this site. That's the whole point of it, just to sanitize it, to take away the free will, the hobbyists, put it more in a controlled environment, something they can wrap their little greasy fingers around. Essentially stop the signal. Now this is just the fallout for 3D printing, hobbyists, and DIYers. There's a whole nother pile of fallout for Matt himself. So what are we looking at here? One, he was named personally in the lawsuit, not the company. What they're trying to do there is pull back the corporate veil. To be like, hey, again, this goes down to people hosting the site. They would want to do that with Google or anywhere else like that too. If they can do it with him, well, now they've showed, hey, we can pull back the corporate veil. If you host 3D printing files on there, you are liable for what those files are. That's a big deal. Like, for real, like, that changes everything, especially if they're successful. And this case doesn't have to necessarily be successful in order to have damage. So what else are we looking at here? He's looking at civil penalties. A lot of them. It says right here the dollar amounts they want for different things. Now, depending on how the judge calculates this could be by the hour, by the minute, by provable offense. Who knows? Either way, if he loses this case, he's financially ruined. Like, it's going to be millions and millions and millions of dollars he's going to owe California. I don't know a whole lot about bankruptcy. I don't know if he can file bankruptcy at that point and get away from that, or exactly what the next step would be if he lost, but that's a big deal. So what they're trying to also do is make him personally responsible and subject to personal injury. So, all right, this 3D file was printed, right? We know it's a 3D printed gun. It was used in a crime. Matt's responsible. And that's where it starts to, like, open the door to possibly talking about some sort of criminal liability here. It's not criminal right now. It's still civil, but it could definitely switch over. We'll have to see what happens. A lot of things could change. They're trying to make his actions permanently banned in California. So, again, the geoblocking, that's what we were talking about there. Another thing is he's going to be looking at years of litigation. Even if he wins, still years and years of litigation, because remember, the process is the punishment. Win or lose, going through the process to get to that point is a massive punishment. This is going to completely wreck him. We're talking about legal self-defense. Legal defense costs are going to be probably 7 figures. It'll definitely reach 6, but probably 7 figures. This is huge. And again, they're trying to get you to think he did something wrong or he shouldn't have done X, Y, Z or something like that to isolate him and put him on an island so they can just barbecue him. This way everyone else that hosts sites and put out 3D printed files will be like, no, I don't want to do that. And that's where this really needs to become a big story, because everybody needs to stand behind him and be like, no, this is not okay. We're standing the line, because if everybody stands the line behind him, they're not going to keep going after people. Like, for example, when they came after me, everybody stood the line behind me. Yes, They got a conviction on me. Yes, they put me on prison, but they didn't go after a bunch of other people. I truly believe if you guys went to stood behind me, the rare breed triggers and a whole bunch of other cases would have went totally differently. But they're like, no, they're not going to exclude him from the community. They're still going to take him as he's one of us, and they're still going to stand up for him. And this needs to happen with that. We need to have a bunch of people stand behind him and be like, no, that's not okay. Yeah, it doesn't seem like a big deal, but having the support behind there and them just getting trashed in the court of public opinion does make a difference. I am telling you this. That's why the story needs to blow up. You need to get other creators to cover this story. So frustrating to see some, because Matt's a good dude. It really, like, for real, he is a good dude. I can't believe that they're targeting him. And it's from the other side of the country, too. Now, from what I understand in a civil case, they can't force him to go to California to litigate this, but he's still going to have lawyers there. He's going to have to do video conferences. And the whole point is, California, they pick somebody on the opposite side of the country, particularly to be like, you're not safe. It doesn't matter if you're on the other side of the country. We will come after you if you're putting out 3D printed gun files. That's a big deal. And yeah, I believe we can get the support behind Matt, but if he loses or he doesn't get the support behind them and you're putting out 3D printed gun files, you could be next. Do you have money to fly back and forth to California and represent yourself or pay a lawyer there? No, we're better off standing behind him, letting him be the tip of the spear so you don't have to be. Because if he's not the tip of the spear, someone else will be, and that very well could be you. Not trying to lecture you, I'm just trying to explain the importance of this. And another reason they went after him is because he is a huge Second Amendment lawyer. Dude is a beast in the courtroom, and he's crushing people. Putting him in financial ruin and messing his head up by having to go through this personal lawsuit in California, it's probably going to affect his courtroom etiquette. I mean, how could it not? If you were facing millions of dollars in lawsuits and years of litigation, wouldn't that kind of mess you up in the head a little bit? And let's be real, he's absolutely fucked. There's no way of getting out of this. Yeah, he may win in the end. He very well could. That can happen. But to get to that point, he still has to go. There's no getting out of this. He's going to have to go through this. He's going to have to see this to the end. And again, the penalties, everything, like that's a big deal. And now he may get the same treatment I do. There may be platforms that preemptively strike at him. Now that he's been personally sued in California and they're like, oh, he's convincing people to make machine guns. Look what happened to me. I got demonetized permanently from YouTube. I permanently lost my PayPal, Venmo, Facebook, permanently demonetized from there. All my stuff is restricted. People can only find my merch site if they go there directly through a link. Google doesn't promote it. Facebook doesn't promote my Facebook page. This could happen to him, and I don't know how much of an income he actually gets from this stuff, but he's very well looking at that. He could have his hosting sites drop him. He could have clients drop him. He could be blacklisted from making money at all and have to go to McDonald's or something to work, and it's bad. And now that he's been already labeled as a target, all the watchdog groups, basically communists running around trying to crush American spirit, they're going to be regularly attacking him, and they're going to use this case as leverage why they should attack him. I guarantee you right now, there's some sort of commie sitting in front of YouTube, whether that's Everytown Against Gun Violence or some sort of paid George Soros person, talking to YouTube and be like, hey, he's getting sued for California. They said he is transporting illegal machine guns. They said that, so it's a fact now. We need him pulled off of YouTube. Not only do we need him pulled off of YouTube, we need everything just taken down. He just needs to go away. I promise you, there's somebody sitting there right now in front of YouTube making this case of them, trying to get him pulled. It's bad. Like sorry to stress on that point, but because this has already happened to me, I understand how big of a thing this is. This is just terrible. So, a little bit of facts about the case so you understand what's going on. He never sold or sent or did anything with California. They reached out to his website, pulled material off of it, and constructed a firearm in 8.5 hours. And they're saying because they were able to construct a firearm, that's pre-crime. They're also saying that because he had tutorial videos how to do things, you offer the code plus the tutorial videos, that equals facilitation. They're saying he was facilitating the construction of illegal firearms in California. They could have went after billions of people, I should say billions, millions of different people that do this exact same thing, but they chose him specifically basically to shut him up because he's a juggernaut in the 2A community in the courtroom, and to show that you're not safe no matter where you are in the country. I know I already said that, but still. So that's basically what's going on. So he didn't do anything in California. He didn't send anything to California. They didn't have some sort of CI get him to say to do anything illegal or suggest anything illegal. All they have is that his site exists, and they were able to log on to his site from California. That's what's going on with this. Like I said, this is a very large case. This needs to be covered. Anyways, if you guys would like to help support the channel and you don't want to shop at only tech defense at shopify.com, the best way to do it is go down to my Amazon affiliate link, click on that link. Even if you don't buy what that link is for, just clicking on it and doing the Amazon shopping you were already going to do anyway, it'll kick back for it because you came there off my channel. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe.